So customer engagement is a four-step process according to what I have written in the framework. So there's an aspect for education where you talk to the customer, you identify what the needs are. And then the second aspect is enable. So you understand what the needs are and also tell the customer about the products that you are launching and relaunching and version 2.0s. So that's education. Enabling is all about furthering that education to identify what exactly is the customer valuing or assigning value to. And hence, it becomes very important for an entrepreneur to understand what the data is behind that. How can he price the product? How can he promote the product? So again, kind of like the 3 C's and 4 P's. It's all about enabling. Effecting is identifying whether we are still, producing value for the customer and effectuating that. So effectual entrepreneurship is all about, controlling the burn rates, identifying, not necessarily identifying the finished product, but identifying clearly when a product is generating value and when it's not. So how long can the iterations go to the point where it creates value for both the customer and the business? And that's where I come up with something called maximum value point, another MVP, as opposed to the minimum viable product. So maximum customer value is a place where both the business and the customer both are getting value. So that is effect. And engage is the final aspect of the framework where we are continuously providing value to the customer so that he remains a customer. In other words, let's do an analogy of the pool, the swimming pool. So when we educate, we actually understand that we have to build a pool of certain dimensions. And then during enable, we actually build the swimming pool with those learning that we did. And effect is where we pull the customers into the swimming pool, and engage is where we just keep the customers in the swimming pool. So that's like the worst analogy, but still I think it kind of tells you the whole story of how to engage. In the recent past, we have seen a lot of work being done on lean, but they are centrally around lean product development. But this work actually entails a lot of product development as well as sales, product sale, service selling. Even a small business like a restaurant can benefit from this, where you don't necessarily have such fast sales channels or even distribution channels. But then essentially, keeping these 4 things in mind, a small business can really work wonders. In the past, a lot of work has been done where we have treated the customers different from the business. And the business focuses a lot on the customers. But this work essentially captures that interaction as to how valuable the customer is, what is the lifetime value of the customer to the business, whether a business should invest more in educational dollars or enabling dollars or effecting dollars or engaging dollars. So that's where the book is different from the traditional, lean work that has been done in the past. Often tend to just put value to the sales. Ultimately, it comes across as a sale that matters. Traditionally, that's what we have been doing. But the new age has taught us that not only the final revenue numbers, but the potential of the business to get more revenues in the future is what a customer needs to value more, as well as a business needs to value more. So that's where the change has happened. That's why the paradigm has changed. Now the interactions matter more, the engagement matters more, because you're thinking about lifetime value and not just one episode of sale. In the book, we also talk about innovations, how different kinds of innovations take place, what kind of budget they have for different interactions. So again, a lot of things that I've talked about in the book has been done over the past. It's just not been structured the way it has been structured in the book. For example, there was spin brush. Spin brush, the concept of spinning brush while you are brushing in the morning, a toothbrush that could clean better than the normal one, was always there. I shouldn't say always, but it was there before even spin brush came about. John Osher was one of, again, he was an inventor. He had seen motors work, and he had created another such object, which he again utilized. Some of the learning that he did in that, he utilized in building this new product. So again, he put a lot of emphasis on educating. The problem was that the masses did not necessarily know about a spinning brush because it was served only to the really medically needy patients. So when he changed this from a product that was kind of untouchable and kind of difficult to even buy, he enabled a lot. So again, as we see, he educated a lot of these customers as well as enabled them by providing that product at a price that was feasible for the masses to buy this product. I think one of the places where we see that customer is very important is a lot of gaming companies where they are more interested in the number of customers you have who are engaging with you, who are sharing that experience with each other, sharing that experience generally without even paying. The whole idea of freemium products was again to engage with a lot of customers. So once your customers are engaged, you already have a big customer base. And then gradually you move into producing products. Now that you have that channel, you have a direct connection with customers, you can innovate, you can build your product, you can have a 2.0 of your initial product and then price it based on either anything interesting that they do or anything extra that they want. That's becoming very important, and this book completely talks about some of the things that have been done in that regard. So the customer engaging entrepreneurs need to take value creation to a completely different level through better procedures, efficient ideas. It also requires the entrepreneur to revisit his complete business model and identify the engaging zone. The engaging zone is very critical, like we talked about the swimming pool example. We talked about Suzanne, who had a restaurant, and then we talk about the Figaro X-ray. So these are all examples where they evolved from a product idea or a service idea, and then they revisited their existing business models, tried to make themselves more engaging, and created the engaging zone very fast once they learned who their customers are, what do they value. Because essentially what we want to do is to get the value creation going right from day one. If you're creating value for the customer, and if the customer is valuable to you, that's where you should start the interaction. Enablers can build efficiency to deliver the right product in a way that customers want. Educators can identify insight that can drive important marketing and sales decisions. Effectors can extend the competencies to create value and extend the existing value for customers. And engagers can use these new values to build better relationship with the existing customers, to provide products and services in a much better way. All these facets, when combined within the entrepreneurial firm, can help acquire new customers in a seamless way and retain them in the engaging zone that we talk about in the book. Educators can help the introduction phase of the product lifecycle as that is when the entrepreneur seeks ideas from the customers as well as build product awareness. Enablers expand the market and enable more and more people during the growth life cycle of a product. When a product reaches its maturity phase, the effectors assess the value the product still brings to the customer and decide the proper mix of marketing dollars to lend the customer the maximum value. When the product is in a decline phase, there's a gradual disinterest in the product. The engagers keep the customers in the engaging zone and help them with other products through the engaged relationship. My background is I'm a civil engineer, and then I started working in risk management and then consulting, and decided to go back to business school. I went to business school at UCLA, and subsequent to that I started working with smaller businesses and entrepreneurs in providing services to cities, public agencies, engineering firms. And then gradually I also started helping other entrepreneurs in different lines of business, not only utilities, but in healthcare, insurance, a lot of different areas, oil and gas. And that has helped me build some understanding of different businesses and different functions, not only marketing, sales, but at the same time product development as well as project development and management. So this whole breadth of experience and understanding of how things work and do not work, especially in smaller businesses and with entrepreneurs, has given me a lot of good points and a lot of understanding to share with others. And that's why I wanted to write this book, because in this book you will find a lot of examples which you can totally agree with, because it comes from the same group of entrepreneurs. I mean, they think very similarly. And again, the idea of keeping the costs low, being a very lean machine, is all very important to customers. And rightfully so, because there is a huge need of making sure that you don't go belly up in the first couple years while you are engaging or while you're building your product or providing service. You should buy this book if you're looking to save a lot of unnecessary dollars in marketing and sales for your new product or new service that you're planning. Even if you're not an entrepreneur at this point, but helping an entrepreneur, friend of yours, or you decide to come up with a product in the near future, a few things that can help is, start engaging right away. Start building value for the customers, identify who your customers are, and what is your engaging zone.